Shalom Aleichem, Abba Wilhelm.
Hey, Aleichem Shalom, Ben Zion. How was your Pesach?
It was very liberating. How are you?
Baruch Hashem. It was hard work, huh?
Hard work. It's,
Did you work?
invigorating.
I saw Chassidus Shavart. The pasuk says, "Ve'yanchu b'nei Yisrael min ha'avoda," and the Yidden sighed, krechts from all the hard work, and then Vatal shalvasam el Elikim, and their crying came up to the Eibishter, and the Eibishter listened and took them out. So I saw Chassidus Shatayich that when a person does an avodas Hashem, when a person serves Hashem, and ve'yanchu, and they say, I didn't do it good enough. I avoided Hashem, but I'm still krechting. I could have done better. That's Vatal Shavasam El Hashem. Hashem likes that. Hashem doesn't like when you say, I'm picture perfect. I did everything, and I'm ready to move on. No, a person always has to realize that there's more room to grow. I actually saw from India, I saw a beautiful mushal of a hunter. He must have gone over here somewhere. The hunter who had exceptional eyesight, and with time, and every time he was able to hit the animal bullseye, and he was able to catch the animal before it came because he had beautiful eyesight. But with time, with age, he lost his eyesight. But he replaced it. He made it up because when he lost his eyesight, his sense of hearing and sense of smell came strong. So he was able to hear from the distance, and he was able to smell, and that's how, when the animal came any close, he was able to shoot. And he got it first. Vayehi hayoim, he's hunting, he's out there, maybe over here hunting, and he hears the roaring of a lion. Up! He heard it, he didn't see it, but he had that strong sense. He shot the lion, it became quiet. 5 minutes later, he hears it again. What's going on? He must have missed it. So he hears it, he shoots it, quiet. He said, I must have got. 5 minutes later, he shoots it, he hears it again. And he realized his age must have kicked in, that not only he lost his sense of his eyesight, he must have lost the sense of smell and hearing, and that's why he's missing it. So he comes home all depressed, and the person says to him, why'd you come home so early? He says, I lost it. I lost my talent. He says, you didn't lose your talent. You think there was only one lion there. There was many. Every time you shot a lion, and there was more than one. If you were able to see, you'll see that there's more than one lion laying dead. So this is the constant avodah, constant struggle that we have, and this is very much connected to Sfiras HaOmer. What I did yesterday, what I accomplished yesterday. I have to move next step. I have to grow. There's another lion out there that I gotta hunt down. That's the message of Sfira, and a person is never satisfied. He has to be ve'yanchu min ha'avoda. Okay, this is Sfiras HaOmer. Let's get. Some people have complained that we didn't do a parsha video on Shmini. All right, you were busy. It must be your fault, right? I was busy. We got to meet Baruch Hashem again. So let's somehow connect Shmini and Tazriya Mitzorah. How? Shmini starts Vahi b'yom hashmini. In Tazriya, right away it goes B'yom hashmini yimo b'sar alasoi. Right? So I'm going to tell you two interesting pshatim on both of them. Vahi b'yom hashmini, in last week's parsha, I saw a fascinating balaturim. Why was Moshe Rabbeinu only serving the Mishkan, doing the avodah for 7 days, and then the 8th day was taken away from him, and now Aaron's in charge? So the balaturim says, because when the Eibishter came to Moshe Rabbeinu in this sneh, in the burning bush, and asked him to do whatever he wanted him to do, he kept on delaying it for 7 days. As for that reason, Hashem says, okay, you're going to do the avodah for 7 days, but once the 7 days is over, we're taking it away. He should have not delayed it. It's going over to Aaron. B'yom hashmini yimo b'sar alasoi. Why do you have to wait 8 days? So we know all the farshim that you have to go through a Shabbos to get enough strength and all that. Well, I heard another beautiful pshat. If you calculate how many hours there is from the time the child is born until the bris milah, the 8th day, that's 7 full days, 7 times 24, plus 12 hours of the night, because you can't do the bris milah till next day. If you calculate all those amount of hours, it's 180. A person has to go through 10 times chai in hours to get enough spirit to move on to the next level. the end of last week's parsha, the parsha Shmini, it says lahavdil ben atamei uven atar, and then ben achaya and the acheles v'achaya and then acheles. To be clear, what's kosher, what's not kosher. The Chassam Sofer over there says chaya means a living thing. Chaya also means is corresponding to a Talmud Chacham. Talmud Chacham, a lebedike chaya. What's a chaya in the acheles? A Talmud Chacham that shears his Torah. He lets it be eaten. He spreads his wealth. A chaya ain't in the acheles. There are many Talmud Chachamim, but ain't in the acheles. That's not what it's supposed to be. It sounds like a very chassidish taich. It's the Chassam Sofer. But the Gra says, what's the connection between the end of that parsha, that you have to know clearly what's kosher, to the beginning of this week's parsha, where it speaks about Isha Tazriya, Mazel Tov, a woman is having a baby. What's the connection between the baby and the end of last week's parsha? So he says, the famous Gemara, the Gemara in Maseches Yuma, where a woman was pregnant and she's about to, she's in the end of the pregnancy, and it was Yom Kippur. So the Gemara brings two stories. One story of a woman had a craving on Yom Kippur, she has to eat. So for one woman, the Gemara says the story that they told her to whisper in her ear and say, hey, lady, it's Yom Kippur today. She heard the word Yom Kippur, she was able to withhold it, and she merited to have the great Reb Yochanan as her son. Whereas another woman also had that struggle, and they whispered into her Yom Kippur, and she couldn't quench her craving, and she Nebuch ate, and Nebuch gave birth to a child that was known to be a Rasha. And that's the connection. You have to, even though when Isha ki Tazriya v'yolda zachar, remember, you can eat when you should eat, and don't eat when you shouldn't eat. Even kashrus takes place. A very nice pshat. But I want to share with you one more thing. That why is it, Taka, that a woman gives birth, she becomes tamei? L'chayra, she just brought in a new child into this world. There's nothing greater than that. Mazel tov. And yet she says she becomes tamei. So the pshat is like this. The woman had the child within her for 9 months. She was raising a living thing. When she gives birth, she feels that void, the void of raising a living thing. Now that child is on its own. Of course, the mother and the parents have to raise in their new way as parents. But to physically have that child within her and being part of her, she feels that void. That void of not having a living thing within you creates tumah. The void creates tumah. And therefore, she has to wait a certain amount of yemei tumah. So why does the Torah say that for a male, it's for a boy, giving birth to a boy, the tumah is less? Is because, remember, that when you give birth to a girl, a baby girl, that girl eventually, chachik, will have a child in Mitzvah Shem too. And she will also experience that void, hopefully. So that's why the tumah, the void issue of letting a living child leave you, we have that also in halacha, that the halacha in Hilchas Netilas Yadayim, it says that only by a Jewish child you have to wash the hand, because when a Jewish child, a halakha thing, creates tumah, the tumah tries to creep in there. Look at there. You want to turn around? There's a baby deer there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not interested in the baby deer? Eretz Yisrael is compared to a deer. Eretz Hatzvi. Anyways, so that is the lessons we can learn. We should seize the moment every day in Sfira, grow from thing to thing. And I saw that there are some tzaddikim that were very makbid not to take pictures, not allowed to take pictures. And everybody always says it has to do with the Ruach HaTumah, but the pshat is really different. They didn't want you to remember them still meaning not moving. They wanted you to always remember a person as a living person who's always growing. And that's how our avodah has to be throughout the Sfira Soimer.
Shabbos.